You're not going to believe this. Guys, you are not going to believe this. It came to my attention that as CEO of a mining company, of a junior mining company, is trolling one of my companies on message boards and apparently has a problem with me. Now, following my channel for quite some time, do you think it's a good idea for a mining CEO to come anywhere close to me or my companies? Considering the fact that I made a video series, how I hate mining stocks, and also considering the fact that one of the founders of this company was included in one of the videos in my I Hate Mining Stocks video series. I am not making this up. I am not making this up. A mining CEO has a problem with me and is trolling one of my companies. Are you ready? Okay. So, we're going to talk about PLUR. You know what I love about message boards? That there are some individuals out there on message boards that want to help us. They want to help. They don't want to reveal their name, but they want to help us, okay? So we're going to analyze the help of an individual named Northernman. I'm going to reveal his identity soon, but let's have a look at his advice about PLUR, because we need his advice, his warning, okay? He's the CEO of one particular mining company. So the conversation started on PLUR with saying, pumpers are showing up when the stock is up. On the other side, bashers are the ones when the stock is down. So Northernman decides to respond and say, as someone who is perceived as a so-called basher, I can guarantee you that I am mainly present when stocks are overvalued, so you'd be wrong about me. So in other words, a mining stock CEO is saying that PLUR, that has had 70 million of revenues last year, is overvalued. Okay? I'm not making this up. We'll look at his mining company. All right, let's look at another comment. The company will continue to execute. That's why we bought and will continue to buy more. This company in 6 to 12 months will be off the board, taking out metrics are too attractive. So this is one poster, and he responded, what PE should it trade at? Revenue multiple, exit takeouts. Correct. Meaningless. He responds it's meaningless. He wants to teach us. In order to be credible, it is important to properly support statements. I mean, he sounds like a guy that really wants to help us. Another tweet. It talks about responding to him here. Northernman says, Pumper is pretty much the only bull here. Gives the game away, doesn't it? So he's calling this guy a pumper. Okay. I mean, he wants to help us again. Now they're talking about the halt. The halt that happened last week, the biggest contract in the company's history. Northernman has a problem with that. This guy says here, do you guys know the process of CRO? When a company received material news during a trading day, they halt. The company received a massive purchase order during a trading day. So he's arguing, anyhow, nothing said. Halting a stock for normal course announcement is always the kiss of death. Retail investors do not fall for this stuff. This is why the stock is 66 cents and not 86 cents. Also in the future, do not leak, right? So again, very reasonable guy. And then he wants to educate the company. The smart move for Plurilock would not have been to hold the stock, as only thing to come out of this was that it set unrealistic expectations of a material investment, which never came. Biggest contract in the history of the company never came. Wow. Without the hold, the stock would have closed above 80 yesterday, hands down. Holding stocks for non-material announcement is always a very bad idea. The market sure agrees with me. Okay, let's have a look what this guy is about. So when you look at his profile, yeah, right, Northernman, follow Northernman, you won't be a bag holder. Let's remember this. Follow Northernman, you won't be a bag holder. So what he does is he shorts overhyped stocks, right? Best in class track record in short paper trades of highly promoted stocks. Impeccable track record sniffing stocks that collapse. So very, very reputable, very honest type of individual, right? He doesn't want to reveal his name, but it appears he's very honest. Okay, you ready? Okay. So this man appears to be Alain Lambert, okay? And this is not the only source talking about that is him, right? He is the CEO of this company, Prismo Metals. Alain Lambert, CEO, right? CEO of a mining company wants to educate us about Plurilock for our own good, right? There's no motive behind anything. Okay, so if he's so honest, I think it would be fair to analyze his company, don't you think? Right? Because if he's saying that, best in class record in short paper trades of highly promoted stocks, he probably doesn't promote, right? He's straight up kind of guy. There's nothing there, right? Well, so here we have a video of him riding a bike and talking about his company.
As you said, I love cycling. I was a competitive amateur
Right? That's the Northernman.
racer and did all sorts of bike races around the world. I was chairman of a professional cycling team, and I love cycling so much. I got to Tucson, Arizona for a training camp one day, and my wife and I fell in love with the desert, and then we built a house in Tucson in 2011, and we moved there in 2015, stayed 4 years. And living in Tucson, I met a great guy, Dr. Peter Megaw, who became a friend and a business associate. I met Dr. Craig Gibson, who's from Tucson but lives in Hermosillo, and we became friends. And actually, the three of us were the three co-founders of Prismo Metals.
Okay, so let's look at one thing. They're riding a bicycle, just talking about Prismo Metals, right? Just a friendly bicycle ride. When you scroll down, what does it say here? This video is sponsored by Prismo Metals. Well, what is going on here? He is talking trash about companies that want to promote themselves, and yet there's a video. He's paying for a video sponsored by Prismo Metals. What a stand-up guy. What a stand-up guy. Now, you know what another stand-up thing about this is? This guy here. Do you know who this is? If you scroll down, he's a good friend, co-founder of Prismo Metals, Peter Megaw. Do you remember when I made a video about Aurcana in my Why I Hate Mining Stocks video series? Do you remember how Aurcana pretty much went to zero? Zero almost. And he was involved. But unfortunately, in the bio here, they only list the successes. There's nowhere to be found about Aurcana. But I got you. I'll show you. Here's the video. Aurcana, undervalued silver miner. Explosive growth, low risk.
We are expecting to put into production by the middle of 2012. It's so significant an asset for Aurcana that it will increase 10% silver production in the U.S.
This is a diamond drill hole. This is one of the over 300 historic drill holes that were put into the property. Aurcana gets a huge leg up on this property by.
What do we have here? Technical consultant for Aurcana, Peter Megaw. Peter Megaw, co-founder of Prismo Metals. Do you know what happened to Aurcana? Investors lost pretty much all their money. They had two assets, La Negra and Shafter. He was the technical consultant for Shafter. The company was supposed to increase silver production of the US by 10%. They were supposed to go from a 1 million ounce silver producer to 7 million. You know what happened? They went from 1 million producer to zero. Okay? They took on debt of $50 million, and then they lost La Negra to the lender, and Shafter never went into production. But you know what? He's the co-founder. He's the co-founder of Prismo Metals. And the CEO of Prismo Metals is educating us about PLUR, right? This happens all the time in the mining industry. Like, they mess up a project, no problem. They lose investors all the money, no problem. They just start a new one. And in the bios, nobody talks about their failures, right? So this is your Prismo Metals CEO trolling on the message boards, and then the co-founder losing million. This company was worth $500 million, Aurcana, and literally went to zero. Okay, moving on. Because the Northernman is such an honest man. He should be called Honest Man, not Northernman. He can smell a scam and promote a thing. So Prismo Metals, ticker symbol PRIZ, market cap 15 million. Okay. Now, before I look at the chart, because the chart looks a little suspicious, don't you think? Especially here, from the top to the recent bottom, it lost 80%, right? It lost 80%. But, since Northernman is an expert in valuing companies, why don't we take a look at what Prismo Metals has, right? There must be something in these mining projects, right? Like a PEA, net present value, something to support that 15 million market cap, right? All right, let's take a look. So here we have 3 projects: Palo Verdes, Los Pavidos, Hot Breccia. Okay, let's have a look at the first one. Okay, Palos Verdes, surrounded by Vizsla Silver, within a historic district, right? I don't see any net present value. I don't see any PEA. It's just located somewhere next to a district, right? My neighbor is rich. Well, I'm his neighbor. I should get rich too, right? All right. So that's the first project. Los Pavitos. Los Pavidos is located in the Alamos region in the southern Sonora state. That's Mexico. There are several active exploration and mining projects in this well-known endowed mineral region. Okay, what do you have? Do you have a net present value? No, we got a bunch of holes, but we're located next to something. Hot Breccia. It's located in Arizona Copper Belt. It's located in the heart of Great Arizona Copper Belt, adjacent to Christmas Mine, and Hayden Smelter. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You have 3 projects that have nothing other than a bunch of holes, okay? Located next to some successful mines. And you're educating us about PLUR being overvalued or undervalued when it's a fact that PLUR has had 70 million of revenues, is increasing margins, is serving customers like the US Treasury, US Army, US Navy, and you're educating us about value when your 3 pieces of shit have nothing but are located next to something? Really? Okay, so now let's move on. Let's move on to the chart, okay? And we're gonna see if there's any promotion going on, okay? Because Northernman is a straight up man. He goes after the stocks that promote, right? To help us. So let's just look at YouTube first. Prismo Metals. See if there's any sort of hint of promotion. Okay. Look at this. 2 months ago, Prismo Metals is interviewed by Gold Newsletter. Do you think this is free? Okay. Prismo Metals 8 months ago, Red Cloud TV. Look at all these shorts. They seem to know how to do YouTube. Stocks to watch, 2 years ago interview. Man, oh man. Metals Investor Forum. Alain Lambert, Northernman. Smith Weekly Research, 11 days ago. Oh, here we got the guy that was involved with Aurcana that went to zero pretty much. Gold Newsletter again. Investing news. Now, this is not promotion, right? This is not exposure. This is not promotion. You know what I also find interesting is that when you go under these videos, there is no mention that this is sponsored. Nothing. Do you think this is not sponsored? Red Cloud TV. Nothing. Nothing about being sponsored or paid. Something fishy, isn't it? But here's what I found. Global One Media. Case study. Prismo Metals. Look at this. Prismo Metals is a growth stage exploration company acquiring, exploring, and developing precious and base metals assets in Mexico and Arizona. The company is engaged in 3 projects, namely Palos Verdes in Sinaloa, Mexico, Los Pavidos project in Sonora, and Hot Breccia in Arizona. I talked about these projects already. In July 2022, the company brought Global One Media on board to bring much needed work to optimize its web visibility and amplify its brand identity. As a small cap junior explorer with promising prospects, Prismo Metals needed attention to drive an influx of investments that will power its exploration program. Are you kidding me? They needed attention. Different translation, promotion, to drive influx of investments that will power exploration program. In other words, we have 3 projects that have nothing, no net present value, no PEA, no nothing, but we want to generate interest so that we can finance exploration program on something that really doesn't have nothing other than it's located next to something. Wow, Northernman. Northernman. Wow. And you know your stuff, man. You know your stuff. Our approach to cultivate investor attention for Prismo Metals, we modeled our approach around 3 key goals. Provide a cohesive omni-channel marketing strategies, highlight the company's value proposition, and increase investor awareness. So they redid their website. If we go to home, it looks very much like this, right? They did a good job. Looks good, doesn't it? Okay, so they redid their website. They did Facebook engagement, LinkedIn engagement, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, podcast, YouTube. I mean, look at all these interviews. Results. I'm interested in results, Northernman. From the start to end, we developed a fully roster of quality and engaging content for Prismo Metals. More than 235 pieces of unique content, including more than 179 social media visuals and copies, more than 56 featured videos and video clips. Now I understand why there's all these shorts. Delivered a redesigned website. Looks good. Website looks good. Drove traffic to the company's website via a comprehensive omni-channel marketing campaign. Attracted interest to the company's precious metals project. For sure. For sure. I mean, somehow you got to have a 15 million market cap and still have no PEA, no net present value. You got to generate interest. So Global One Media Group, well done. You see, I don't have a problem with companies that deserve promotion to be promoted, like PLUR, for example. They have 70 million of revenues, margins are increasing, U.S. Navy, they deserve attention. They deserve promotion. But other companies, like Prismo, do they deserve promotion? Well, you be the judge of that. In terms of stock performance, Prismo Metals garnered 63% improvement in the share price between September 22 and May 2023. Okay, so towards the end of our engagement, the company locked in a strategic investment valued $2 million for its precious metals project at Palos Verdes property. Let me translate this, okay? The stock price was low, and we're going to look at those dates. The stock price was low. They hired Global One Media Group to pump it because the thing is not worth it, right? To get the stock price higher and to then attract an investment, a strategic investment, right? Northernman, well done, okay? I hope I hear more thoughts, your thoughts on PLUR, because you clearly know what you're doing. You clearly know you're pumping. Okay, let's look at this stock between September 2022 and May 2023. What happened to the stock price during those times? Okay. September 2022, it's at 20 cents. And boom, look at this. 64 by December, and by May, May 2023, 36. So this entire increase, okay, of almost 250% is the same time that Global One Media was involved with all these unique content, right? All this improvement. It was during that time, right? Okay, now, do we want to look at the press releases of what happened between here and here? Like, if I was a scammer and needed money for projects that are not really that good, what would I do during this time when the stock is high? Well, they already told us, they got money, $2 million of strategic investment. Did they do any private placements during that time? Like, because remember, follow Northernman, you will not be a backholder, right? So there's no way anywhere here at the top that they did a private placement or anything like that to create backholders. They would not do that, right? Because Northernman, you will not be a backholder with a Northernman. Okay, so remember the dates between September 22, May 2023. Let's look at some press releases. So on August 23, 2022, which is before September, before the run-up, they did a private placement, right? Is pleased to announce that they did a closed non-broker private placement issuing this many shares at 20 cents. You know how much they got? $150,000. $150,000, right? Could this $150,000, which is August, right? Right here, somewhere here, before the pump, could this be possible that this $150,000 was used to pay Global One Media? I don't know, but probably not, because Northernman is an honest man, right? You will not be a bagholder with a Northernman. Okay, so that was before the pump. Look at the next interesting press release. On November 24, 2022, so after September, right? November 24. What's the stock price November 24? Look at this. Peak. Almost at a peak of the pump. Vizsla Silver to make strategic investment in Prismo Metals, right? So that strategic investment for $2 million from Vizsla Silver Corp, a strategic investment that these guys are talking about. Towards the end of our engagement, the company locked in a strategic investment valued at $2 million. So in other words, they pumped the stock, got a strategic investment, and screwed Vizsla Silver Corp into investing $2 million, okay? Afterwards, after they invested, that strategic investor was down 80%. But Northernman doesn't create backholders. You can't make this stuff up. And he made Vizsla Silver Corp a backholder. It gets even better. It gets even better, guys. On December 5th, 2022, Prismo Metals announces broker private placement for $3 million. So December 5th, the stock on December 5th is like literally at the peak of the promo. And they got investors backholding $3 million. Prismo Metals is pleased to announce that he has entered into agreement with PI Financial Corp. I'm not even going to look PI Financial Corp if there is any scammy things going on there. Like, I'm not even going to go there. So they issued this many units at 52 cents at the peak. So they backholded, they created backholders out of Vizsla Silver Corp to give them a strategic investor for $2 million. And then they scammed another $3 million, so $5 million at the freaking peak of the promo. At the peak of the promo. Okay? But remember, Northernman, you won't be a bag holder. You cannot make this stuff up. Okay. On January 29, right as the pump is leaving. So now the stock is not over 60. Now it's in 40s, right? So up to this point, they screwed a strategic investor into putting money into an overvalued company for $2 million. They screwed shareholders to putting $3 million into an overvalued company. And then you know what else to do? They made an acquisition. With a pumped stock price. Okay? Here. Prismo Metals announces the definitive agreement to acquire the majority interest in Hot Breccia property in Arizona, Copper Belt, the one that I already talked about. They acquired it on the pump. Is pleased to announce that it has signed an agreement with Infinitum Copper to acquire 75% interest in it. Okay? This is unreal. Northernman. This is unreal. You screwed Vizsla Silver into giving you $2 million. You screwed retail investors into giving you $3 million. And then you stole a property from another mining company using your piece of shit paper to buy a property after the pump by Global One Media Group. Ladies and gentlemen, this is legendary. The CEO of Prismo Metals goes on Plurilock message board to educate us about pumps, educate us about value. And at the same time, he founded a company with an individual who destroyed Aurcana Silver, defrauded a strategic investor of $2 million, defrauded retail investors of $3 million to do a private placement at overpriced prices, and bought a property from another mining company at overpriced prices. And he is educating us and trolling me and trolling us on Plurilock, which is a real company with real revenues, undervalued, serving U.S. Army, U.S. Treasury. This is legendary. This is unreal. But this is what you get on message boards. They don't reveal their names. They have an agenda. In conclusion, follow Northernman and you will not be a bag holder. Well done, Northernman. Well done.